The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, justifying they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry, fuck what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, bitches, hate, but I dare you to try to take a fucking thing off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets we like, get 'em. 17 up in that thing, catch 'em sleeping and hit 'em. The industry, if you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the fuck I want because nobody can finish me. The industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a fuck about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you. The industry, I'm sick of this industry shit. The industry playing them like a industry bitch. They tried to finish me quick, but I am long, so I stand strong. Fuck a beat. Listen to the words in the damn song.
I've been having these thoughts,
and we're just waiting in line to wake up.
Everything that you hoped for, what you dreamed about being a part of, is a fabrication. Your art. Your culture is the shell of other men's ambitions. Ambitions beyond what you will ever understand.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Go Back to Sleep with your host, me. No longer the bartender. I'm just me now. So tonight's random read, first off, comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verses 10 through 31, rejoicing with the righteous. Before I go there, let me take you guys over here real quick. There we go. So from verse 10, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He that is void of wisdom despiteth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. A table-bearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors there is safety. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sure. A gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong men retain riches. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh. The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. A righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. They that are of a froward heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. There is that scattereth, and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, but more the wicked and the sinner. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verses 10 through 31, rejoicing with righteousness. Man, that's an awesome read that my daughter picked today. Let me get Java in here real quick so we can maybe discuss this read a little bit. All right, let me see if I can unmute you. Okay. Java, you there?
All right, how's it going?
It's good, man. It's good. What you
And
think?
that is a good read. Pretty much you just have to act with integrity. You don't want to do things against especially against your own house.
No. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you caught this video that was going, I guess you could say viral. I don't know. I really don't like to call things going viral, but there's this video that was going around about what the carnival is in Brazil?
Yeah.
Did you happen to see any videos that have the carnival of this year? What happened? So they were
no, I didn't.
Okay, so they were parading. Dude, they were parading this huge this huge float of Satan. Huge. And also
Wow.
they had this guy dressed up as Jesus, and they had the devil beating him up with a pitchfork. And they were parading this whole thing in the streets of Brazil, as a celebration, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like their Mardi Gras, right? The carnival. So a few days later after that, man, Brazil got hit with a huge storm. And I'm talking about flooding, dude. things were being destroyed, mudslides, flooding. I think there were some casualties from that. And also, I even heard that the guy who was dressed up as Jesus, he died in a car accident a few days after that.
What?
Yeah. Oh, and to top things off, I believe a few days later, also after the carnival, their statue of, quote, Christ the Redeemer was struck by lightning.
Wow.
So it's this read is pretty much what that thing was, because it warns people not to do such evil things, because justice will definitely come for them one way or another, man.
Oh, that's wild.
It is. And like after the show, I'll shoot you a link later on, man. It is wild, because I was like, when I first saw the video, I was like, man, these people have no fear of God whatsoever, man. Like, and that's something that I've noticed during the day, like during these times now, is like a lot of people don't have that fear, man.
Well, they've just been taught the opposite, like the flaunting and taunting, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And it's sad, man. It's just really sad that this is how, but I think in the days of old, this is exactly what happened too, right?
Yep.
History always seems to repeat itself. People don't learn, and it's a sad thing.
You know, and it really started this time when the whole thing with like humanism and scientism and stuff
Yeah.
came about.
Where,
you know,
they're trying to equate themselves as God, is pretty
basically.
much, yeah.
They're trying to take over as if that they could possibly fill those shoes.
Absolutely, no, I agree. And that whole thing goes with the whole transhumanism thing. And I know you and Mr. C used to talk about that a lot, and I was really intrigued every time you guys talk about that. That, you know, that definitely equates to the whole transhumanism thing, as they're trying to be above. They're trying to either be a god or trying to be above God, which,
yeah,
man, I don't understand why. So my old job, we used to have this phrase called poking the bear, if you know what that means. You keep poking, aggravating, you keep aggravating until the bear gives and gets pissed. I used to work with some dudes who used to poke the bear just to get a reaction so they can get into something on purpose. I didn't like that, because I wasn't that type of dude. But this is exactly what people are doing. They're poking the bear, you know? So to say, they're trying to poke at God as much as they can with this little pin, until they get a spot that they hit, and then they get hit real bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the whole trying to be God and control creation and evolution and all that is just basically rooted in an ultimate insecurity.
What could that be?
A lack of a foundation. You know what I mean? Because they're so afraid of life, they have to try and control all of it.
You know what's funny too, that you say that they're afraid. I think part of that being afraid is afraid of what the truth is, because the truth hurts,
and afraid of the consequences of their actions is what they're really afraid of.
Yes, exactly. And I think
so they want to take the whole ship down with them, basically.
And they want to continue to do what fits in their box of life and do whatever they want to do. And it's, man.
It goes back to that do what thou wilt thing.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, if people continue on that path, and I'm not, you know, this is what I'll say. People who continue on that path, like, you're eventually going to do something that's wrong. That's completely wrong and evil, because you don't have that self-control. You know, there's a reason why we have a conscience, right? God kind of blessed us with some kind of with conscience in us to know our limitations. But I don't know, man, as time has been progressing, it's just that that conscience is it's disappearing in people. And a lot of it too is, they just don't, like what you said, they don't have that foundation,
And they fall prey to those the allure and the alleged, the supposed gifts. It's the same thing why all these musical artists fall prey to it.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
promise of fame and promise of riches and material things.
And they do get it. They absolutely receive what they want, but it doesn't come, quote, free. There's a price that they pay, It's a price that they absolutely pay. So before we get into this whole discussion, man, this is a deep discussion, man, about the lack of control. This is definitely a lack of control going on right now. And it seems to me that, at least with the music industry, it's the gates are wide open. Like there's no more subtleties anymore. It's like, okay, it's time to just unload everything that we were hiding or trying to put subtly. Let's just put it out there, because people's morality has gone out the door, and they'll accept.
Right.
So,
I mean, the fact that they can do a straight up Luciferian thing, blatant one on the Oscars. Was it the No, the Academy Awards, whatever it was the other day.
Well, even the halftime shows.
Yeah, it's just more and more blatant.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. It is exciting times to live in this time right now. Honestly, especially biblically speaking, it's a very exciting time. But at the same time, it's very, I don't know. For me, it's very sorrowful too, because I thought I've seen a lot of the worst in people in my former job, but even while not working that job and just concentrating on stuff on scripture, man, and kind of comparing that in real life, it's very sorrowful to see that there are so many people who just deny God and don't live that godly way. I really don't understand. I just don't understand it. There's no fear of God. I fear God, man. I fear God a lot. Like when I got that word of spread my word, I didn't even question it. I was like, yes. I was like, kind of like, yes, sir. You got it. So, yeah, it's very frightening and sorrowful to see that people don't have limitations. But at the same time, man, this is exciting because these are the days where I get to witness Christ coming back again, man. So
Right.
It's a double-edged sword, but I think at least the stance that I'm taking with this is that I'm more blessed, I think, that I get to witness this. So that's
Well, and the thing is that it's not people will have an opportunity to act in the right way, it's not like this knowledge isn't available to people.
right.
So even though it's sad to see people making different choices towards that, it's still they have the chance to do right.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the reason why the world's still in existence, is because my thought is God is giving people time to come to him. But the way I see it, I think time is running really short. But
Yeah.
at least we're blessed right now, this present time, that we're able to kind of repent and go to him. And I think I've had this discussion with you that I was never the one to even talk like this before. I was living in sin and I really didn't care about what I did. But because of the experiences I've been through with my journey and stuff, it's just led me to believe that what I did in my past was so wrong, and I'm just glad that I was able, like God was able to give me the opportunity to come back to him and set me right. So I'm just very glad for that, man. Very glad for that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So, all right, let me, I know we've been chit-chatting a lot, but let me go ahead and start greeting everybody who's here in the chat rooms here, because I'm seeing people dropping by and saying hi. Let's see here in the foxhole. Let's start off with the foxhole. What's going on, Whiskey Blue? It's been a minute, brother. And thank you so much for the cookie. I guess you can call this a party. A boneless chicken is here. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for being here. Q&A holes. What's going on? Kiss. We were just doing a little party for Kiss earlier. I was streaming on the foxhole doing a little DJ set, and she popped in, and I said, okay, well, she told me her birthday was yesterday. And so I said, okay, well, let's do a little mini celebration here. So we did. So happy belated to you again. Let's see, Stacks, good evening, and thank you so much for, man, I hate when this populates. Cookie and Can, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. And Cautious Observer, thank you for being here. And everybody else, thank you. Let me see who else is out there. I got the YouTubes going up. E-Trust, what's going on? Teresa, what's going on? Cindy Oliveras, good afternoon. And I think that's all I have in the chats there going on so far. I won't really have time to read everybody's chats, only because we got to keep this show moving along. I'm trying to keep this within 2 hours. Now that I have a job, I got to get some sleep after this, man. I was just telling Java, like, man, I've been so busy. I'm blessed that I have work. I have a steady job. And not only that, but God's blessed me with the DJ gigs that I've been getting. But man, I think it's one of those things, man, you better be careful what you ask for because he's been raining on it. But at the same time, man, I've been feeling really exhausted, and I really have to find that balance because, you know, having to do the streams, having to run the DJ business, and having to work it's a lot. It really is.
It's a lot. Full schedule there.
It is a lot. And it was just yesterday that we kind of said, hey, let's do a show today, right? Yeah. So I had to shuffle, he had to shuffle, and we're here. But I think we're going to make this work really well. You did pick a very interesting one today, I would say.
Yes, this one
was interesting. I was able to have time to run through with the lyrics and then look at it, and I was like, man, this reminds me of a certain goddess, the way she presents herself. So, all right, let me go ahead and get to where we're going to talk about, who we're going to talk about today. Let me just get this all set up here on my end. So, let me see here. Would you like to?
Today we're going to be covering Cher.
Yes, we are.
One of the other occultish type matriarchs of the music industry. You know, it's like you almost forget about her because Madonna's such a centered piece of the occult.
She was, I would say that she was like the one right before Madonna.
Right.
I would think so. And
right. She almost kind of set the stage for Madonna.
All right. So here we go. We got the biography of Cher, and man, the song that we're going to do, what's the song we're going to talk about today?
Today's song is called Dark Lady.
Dark Lady by Cher. And this was back in...
It's all about witchcraft.
This was back in the 70s, right?
Yeah, 1974.
Wow, that was even before I was born.
Yeah, before I was born, too.
Not too far off, though. Not too far off. All right. Good evening, Art by Scott. Thank you for being here. All right, so let me start off with the bio here about Cher, and then we'll do our typical 2 paragraphs each. We'll switch off. And again, every time
just share it with me.
Oh yeah, jeez, man, amateur night for me every time, man. It's like day one every day for me over here. Every time I'm with you on this stream. Make sure I share that and also the sound. Let me know if you see it. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So every time I get bio on the artist, it's always going to be from allmusic.com. And usually when I get the lyrics, they're going to come from Genius. So follow along with us if you want up on the screen. All right. So this bio is by Bruce Etter. Article reads, when Sherilyn Sarkisian, oh, she's probably, what you call it? She's Armenian, huh?
Yep. Yeah, she definitely has links to the Armenian occult type stuff.
Wow. I wouldn't even known that she was, just when I saw that last name, I was like, oh yeah, she's Armenian. When Sherilyn Sarkisian reinvented herself as the more photogenic half of 60s pop duo Sonny and Cher, no one could guess it was merely the first step in an ongoing artistic redefinition that would continue for decades. After the smash success of Sonny and Cher's recording and TV show, Cher scored pop hits on her own, such as, quote, Half Breed, and, look at this one, Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. That's already a sign of witchcraft right there, man. In the 70s, before switching into disco mode for Take Me Home, in the 80s, she became an acclamated actress with lead roles in the highly acclaimed films Mask, Mermaids, and Moonstruck. They're all on M's. I wonder what the significance is there with the M's. The latter earnings, the later earnings her an Oscar. Incredibly, she followed this by returning to the pop charts in the late 80s with If I Could Turn Back Time. I remember that video, dude. I was young. I was young. She was old. She's still old. And 10 years later, becoming a, see what I mean? You're right. Madonna-like dance pop diva with the mega hit Believe.
So when they say Madonna-like, that's almost code for
like a goddess kind of, right?
She's part of the occult.
Yeah. And it's and with the music video, at least the one I saw, it's just funny how it's a resemblance of, you know, the paintings of the Virgin Mary with the little sun on the head. Yeah. It's very obvious. Sherilyn Sarkisian was born in California in 1946. She was 17 when she first met Salvatore Sonny Bono. Man, he sounds like a mob guy, huh? A songwriter and protege of producer Phil Spector. Oh, that guy. Sonny brought her to Spector, who used her as a backup singer and produced one single by her, a novelty Beatles tribute record called Ringo, I Love You, issued under the name Bonnie Joe Mason. It disappeared without a trace, but the couple were undaunted. They emerged as a duo initially called Caesar and Cleo. Interesting. Very interesting. Later that year, and cut the letter Do You Want to Dance and Love is Strange.
Caesar and Cleo didn't trouble the chart compilers with any degree of success. But late in 1964, Cher, then known as Sherilyn, was signed to Liberty Records' Imperial imprint, and Sonny came along as a producer. A Spector-ish version of Dream Baby managed to get airplay in Los Angeles, becoming a local hit, and they suspected they were onto something. That same month, Sonny and Cher, as they were now known, signed to Reprise Records and released their first single, Baby Don't Go. The song became a major local hit in Los Angeles, after which the duo jumped from Reprise to Atco label, a division of Atlantic Records. In April 1965, their first single, Just You, was released and rose to number 20 on the charts. The duo was on its way, and Cher also had Imperial Records after her for a second single. The couple had seen the Byrds pioneer commercial folk rock with Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man and had witnessed them performing another Dylan number, All I Really Want to Do, at a club in Los Angeles. The group intended to issue their own recording of All I Really Want to Do, but Cher, with Sonny producing, beat them to the punch with her own recording of the song. She pursued a dual career for the next 2 years, cutting solo recordings under Sonny's guidance that regularly charted, and duets with her husband for Atco. A month after All I Really Want to Do, they released I Got You, Babe, which was one of the biggest selling and most beloved pop rock hits of the mid-60s, and the couple's signature tune across 2 eras of success. Cher's solo career ended up slightly overshadowed by her work with Sonny and Cher, but at the time she was fully competitive on her own terms. Her first LP reached the Billboard Top 20 and was on the album charts for 6 months. Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down was another hit, a million seller that made number 3 in America and England, and she made the top 10 once more with her 1967 single, You Better Sit Down, Kids. The latter song, written by Sonny, which was also a hit for Glenn Campbell, dealt with divorce, an unusual subject for a 60s pop record, and was one of a series of releases on which Cher's music broached difficult areas. Others were I Feel Something's in the Air, which dealt with unwanted pregnancy, and Mama, When My Dollies Have Babies.
Cher's solo career at Imperial, which had created some political problems for the couple at Atlantic, ended with the lapsing of her contract in 1967, and she moved to Atlantic. Ironically, it was this move that contributed to the unhappy reversal of the couple's fortunes at the end of the decade. By the end of the 1960s, Sonny and Cher were no longer selling records. A series of commercial missteps, coupled with a change in public taste, had sharply curtailed their sales, and a pair of movies, Good Times, Chastity, had lost millions. Additionally, they were no longer recording for Atlantic, though they were still under contract to them, owing the label's decision to take Cher's solo recordings out of Sonny's hands and assign a new producer to her.
Coupled with the presentation of a bill from the IRS for $200,000 in back taxes, these events left the couple in dire financial straits at the end of the 60s. They were forced to play club dates, opening for artists like Pat Boone, and it was there that their second career and the second career for Cher took place and shape. A new contract with Decca Records in 1971, coupled with a chance at a summer replacement gig on the CBS television network, brought them a second chance at success. The tryout on television was a success, as the couple proved to be as funny as they were musically diverse. It took a little longer to find a new formula for Cher's music. Her initial single on Decca's Cap label, Classified 1A, was a failure. A serious song dealing with a girl's feelings for a boyfriend killed in Vietnam. It was a topical in all the wrong ways to become a pop chart success. Well, duh. Producer Snuff Garrett.
Nice name.
Sounds like a comic strip character. Was recruited to work with her, and he found a series of songs that were perfect for Cher's maturing talent.
Maturing talent, huh?
Yeah.
Here we go. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. A conscious attempt to emulate Springfield's Son of a Preacher Man, which also recalled Cher's own Bang Bang, was released late in 1971 and became a #1 hit and a million seller. To some listeners, Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves was the epitome of schlocky pop rock, but the song's subject matter, unusual tempo changes, and an incredibly memorial chorus hook became a vehicle for a transcendent performance by the singer, making Cher's maturation as an artist. The B-side, I Hate to Sleep Alone. Look at that. That title, I Hate to Sleep Alone, huh? Written by Peggy Klinger of the Klinger Sisters, curiously enough managed to recall Sonny's Spector-influenced productions from the Imperial years. A follow-up album featuring her covers of contemporary hits such as Fire and Rain sold well also, and her next single, The Way of Love, a revival of a mid-60s Kathy Kirby hit, solidified the image of a new, more confident and powerful Cher. And the debut of the couple's regular network variety series on CBS in January 1972 brought them back to the center of American and international popular culture in a more mature, wittier guise, and one that concentrated much more on Cher as a personality.
Yeah, that I Hate to Sleep Alone sounds like Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not just Lady Gaga. It's a lot of
people
I think it's a lot of these artists
that kind of get possessed or deal with the devil.
Yeah, that's the price they pay for wanting what they want.
Yep. Her 1960s music ran the gamut from Spector-style miniature teen pop symphonies, that's a mouthful, to covers of contemporary adult pop. It's not unusual, and folk rock. Her voice wasn't very rich or powerful, but it was expressive. And surrounded by Sony's radiant Spector creations, she could put over an almost inappropriately cheerful sounding version of The Bells of Rhymney or Blown in the Wind. By contrast, her early 70s material, solo or with Sony, had a more adult point of view and personality. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, and the later #1 solo hits, Half Breed and Dark Lady,
that one,
were dramatic, highly intense performances, almost as much acted as sung, kind of like a ritual, and very different from her 1960s output. In 1974, it was revealed that the couple's marriage was coming to an end. Ironically, Cher came out of this split more secure than her husband, despite his having guided her career for a decade and having all of the real training in the entertainment business. She probably made some kind of deal.
Come on, man. You know how this works.
Yeah. She embarked on an acting career, even as she continued to make headlines for her romantic exploits, including an affair with, and 2 marriages to, Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers. She became a far better actress than she was a singer. First revealed in Mike Nichols' Silkwood, and then in Peter Bogdanovich's Mask, and George Miller's The Witches of Eastwick. Yep, another witchcraft movie. Her acting peers caught on to the worth of her work in time for an Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Norman Jewison's 1987 romantic comedy Moonstruck.
Man, the witchcraft in this lady, man.
Yep.
It's all there. All the signs are there.
Even there, look at that, the way that her name is spelt right there.
Well, even the way she's dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Is it my turn? Yeah, it's my turn, right?
Yep.
Since the mid-70s, Cher has been known more for her acting than for her music, although she has continued to record for numerous labels, including Columbia, and in 1998 scored an international chart-topping smash with the club-friendly single "Believe." You know, every time I hear that song, it reminds me of that one person who was singing that song in American Idol. This was years ago. It was a funny clip. I remember it. The year 2001 brought Living Proof, the equally dance-oriented follow-up to the transformative Believe, and by 2005, she had completed the 3-year high-grossing farewell tour ahead of a lucrative Las Vegas residency of equal length. I didn't even know she had one. I didn't know she had a
Oh
residency.
yeah, a long time in Vegas.
Oh, wow. That's a long time, but I don't even, probably because I didn't care. In 2010, she starred in the musical Burlesque and You Haven't Seen the Last of Me from the movie's soundtrack, went on to win a Golden Globe Award. In September 2013, Cher released a new studio set, as they always do, right? These sets, Closer to the Truth, the results of further sessions with assistance from Mark Taylor, the British songwriter, producer. Did we ever mention him before? Mark Taylor?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who had been a regular collaborator since Believe. Cher's appearance in the 2018 musical film Mamma Mia. Oh, yeah, that's right. She was in that movie, wasn't she? Yeah. Here We Go Again inspired her to record an album of ABBA cover songs called Dancing Queen in September of that year. And that's it. That's all right there, her bio. I wonder if she's still active. She probably is, huh?
Yeah, I think so. But the biggest hubbub about her right now is that person she's dating who's like 40 years younger than her.
Oh my goodness. What makes a man do something like that?
Because she's like 75 and this guy's like 35.
All
To
right.
me, that has some kind of occult type significance.
You could be right. I don't know what that could be, but you absolutely could be right about that. So
But for me also, Madonna constantly
oh yeah.
tries to resemble Madonna too. Has a young,
she
young
always
person too, so.
yeah. No, you're right about Madonna. That's right.
So Madonna always tries to resemble Baphomet, but to me, Cher is always dressed kind of like the moon goddess, like Selene.
Like
That's why she always has like the white platinum type hair, and the way she dresses is like the moon, more like the moon.
Huh. Interesting.
Moon goddess.
Very interesting.
Which ties into witchcraft.
So
More witchcraft more than like Wicca and stuff.
right.
More than Luciferian stuff.
Right. I mean, but at the end of it all, they all are connected some way, somehow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did find an article here on, it's a short article, not only on Cher, but the actual song that we're going to break down today. And wow, this was just recently written too. This one comes out of astromagiclounge.com. Well, I mean, with the letters like written like that, and the I, and man. All right, so this one was written by Kimberly Lindbergs back, wow, almost a couple years ago, March 29th of 2021. Dark Lady played black magic. You think?
Yeah.
47 years ago, the #1 song on American radio was Cher's Dark Lady, topping Billboard's Hot 100 for the week of March 23rd through the 29th in 1974. This catchy pop-style murder ballad Wow, what a way to describe it. Captured the
Yeah.
nation's imagination and told the story of a, quote, dark lady who was the, quote, fortune queen of New Orleans. You know, I've heard that New Orleans is tied in with a lot of like voodoo and witchcraft
Oh yeah.
stuff going on
Yeah.
down there. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Very much so.
Let's see.
It's a part of the traditional lore of the city.
I wonder how, is it because, man, because I've never really did a dig on it, but I have heard.
It has to do with people from the country Haiti.
Oh, so there was a lot of people who migrated from Haiti over there?
Yeah.
Hence, oh yeah, okay, so that's how they come. They call themselves Creole people, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. The song was originally a much more lighthearted tune written by John Durrell, keyboardist for the American surf rock band The Ventures. But he was encouraged to give it a bleak finale by Cher's producer Snuff Garrett. The grim lyrics took on some extra weight due to its release date coinciding with Cher filing for divorce from her longtime partner, Sonny Bono. At the time, the high-profile couple's separation was making headlines due to the popularity of their TV show, so it is not surprising that the hit song, which recounts a relationship gone wrong, how convenient, struck such a powerful chord with listeners. Its description of a card-slinging fortune teller who plays with black magic also tapped into the occult zeitgeist at the times. Man.
Because that was around the time that a lot of artists were into the occult.
Yeah.
73, 74, even well, we saw with Elton John and stuff, but there was that country singer guy that we were talking about.
Johnny Cash?
Yeah, Johnny Cash. He was into it at the same time right then, but then he got out of it right after that.
He wasn't do I remember if he was into the whole occult thing? I don't know. I don't remember.
And then he got married and his wife pulled him out of everything.
Oh. Okay.
But it seems like around that period, all these people were really dipped into it.
Oh yeah. I mean, isn't that the time when Black Sabbath came out too?
Yep.
Around that, not exactly that year, but around that time.
Right around that time.
Yeah. No,
look at these.
You're right.
These pictures to me kind of remind me of Mariana Abramovich.
Right? She does have a similarity to her. Are they? Do you think they're the same age, around the same age, or is Cher older?
They're probably around the same age.
They look so alike, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
This is the album cover for that?
Yeah,
wow,
I think so.
That's very telling, dude. That's very telling. All right.
The cover art for Cher's Dark Lady album, which contained 10 songs, including the titular title track, featuring a striking black and white image of Cher with a black cat perched on her shoulder. The image evokes witches of yore and their cat familiars. But instead of invoking fear, she is seducing onlookers with her long dark locks and amorous stare. This was typical of the occult imagery of women that emerged in the wake of the sexual revolution, suggesting Cher is empowered by her own mystique and magic. See, that's the thing, that they're trying to lure people into this stuff.
They're seducing people into it.
Right.
And
that's the reason why I wanted to do this song, actually.
And to be quite honest about it, people think that Satan lures them by, he does the whole fear thing, but I think he's done a lot of like slick talking and convincing to people to kind of come into this whole thing and just, I guess, sell their soul to all these, I don't know, these riches and this fame. He's definitely used ways to seduce them in, as opposed to kind of fearing them in.
Exactly. And you have people like this doing this, and then it gets people like, you know, kind of like, oh, I can be like that if I become a part of this.
Yeah. And especially with, I mean, I don't mean to sound sexist here, but especially women. I think women they're very easily influenced when it comes to beauty, because it's part of their nature. And when they see somebody looking beautiful, they kind of want to emulate that a little bit. Not only that, but I think society in a whole has kind of bombarded women with this is the way you're supposed to look. And then now they got these stupid filters on these like TikTok and Instagram.
That's really messing people up psychologically.
It is. It really is.
Like the youth.
Yep. It really is. But I think this is definitely a way to lure the women in so that the women can lure the men in. That makes any sense.
Right.
So
that makes sense. Okay, and then the final paragraph here. There were 2 videos made for this song that aired during the last season of the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. One featured Cher singing the song directly to the television audience while wearing a glittering black dress and matching hair accessory that made the pop diva appear particularly bewitching. I don't know, she looks pretty dark.
Yeah, she
video,
does. She does.
The other was an animated cartoon created by John David Wilson.
Is he? He's in the Beach Boys, right? Is that him?
Maybe.
Remember when we were talking about the songwriter? That name sounds familiar. John David Wilson.
I know there were Wilsons for sure in there.
Yeah, I could
bunch
be
of
wrong.
them, but so see, then now they're trying to appeal to kids and get kids into the occult. So this cartoon version, that's how they did it. And it has a Cher-like character as the mysterious dark lady. See, because they're trying to make it appealing for someone to do black magic, and they specifically call it black magic.
You know what's funny, man? It's funny you mentioned that, because now I'm thinking about a lot of these movies that come out, especially from Disney, that they're doing all these movies that have witches in them and making witches look cool. And yeah, you're absolutely right, man, where they're luring the youth in there. Man, this is deep, dude. And it's sad.
But see, they've been doing it since the 70s. Because before, like some of the animated things before, like the witches and the people that did magic were really scary.
Yeah.
And terrifying. But then they started making it alluring, trying to draw people in.
And the thing that saddens me the most is that a lot of parents they allow their children to watch these movies without even knowing that a spell is being casted on their children, man. It's kind of the same thing that we've been talking about here with the music. I mean, we've been suckered into all this for years and years and years, you know? But through the grace of God, we're able to catch these things now, and hopefully people who listen, they're able to kind of understand what we're explaining to them, that, yeah, this is definitely a way to get your mind off Christ and just come into this world, because it's so cool, or it's like it's magical, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the article there. It's a short one, but look at that picture, dude. You're right, she does look like Abramovic. Oh, it's scary, dude. And it's a very seductive type of picture too, with the black cat, man. Look at that.
It's like witchcraft for the whole family.
Very, very odd. Okay, there's a few pictures here I kind of want to share also.
Yeah, let's do it.
As far as not necessarily share, but because of the music video, right? I've noticed like this I guess it kind of looks like a halo or a sun on the head, and I kind of want to share this with everybody out there to kind of see that what Cher's character is mirroring is similar to what this is being mirrored to, and it also could be kind of mirrored to the Virgin Mary. So let me see what I got here with as far as the picture. Let me go with this picture first. So supposedly this is the Virgin Mary, and you see how she has this halo and a veil, because that's the first thing I noticed with the music video, is that she had this veil on, and kind of like in the background looked like what you said, a moon
Right.
behind her. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's very similar to how they're kind of portraying her. And it's also equating to the Madonna figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I know
The whole shape around this picture too. That shape.
Yeah.
That one's
It's the
part of
eye,
that whole thing too.
It's the eye of Horus, dude. If you
Yeah.
look at it on the sidewards. Yep. Wait a minute. I'm kind of interested in what that book is. Can't be the Bible. What is? Oh, do you see that
Look at
triangle
the
right
stars on it, and
there? It's got a triangle. Does that look like a triangle?
or the Celtic cross.
It's hard to tell. Very interesting. And let's see what else here I have pictures. Let's go to this picture right here. So we have Isis and Horus. Again, with the whole thing on the, it looks like it's in the background when you see the pictures and stuff, but this statue obviously is on top of her head with the veil and the supposed baby Jesus, supposedly. But yeah, this is again with the ancient Egypt occult. And then there's the Virgin Mary right there, and then you have Semiramis and Tammuz, these are all the same. These are all the same.
Yeah. And there are some share pictures with some of this iconography as well.
What's that?
There's some share pictures.
Oh, are you
with some of
serious? That she's
Yeah.
like holding a baby too, or?
No, but it has some of that Egyptian one on there.
Oh, I see. All right. And then the last picture I wanted to share here, this one was pretty good. Because you have these different how it's evolved, I guess you can say. So the first one says the bronze statue of Isis holding Horus as a child. Note the solar disk above Isis's head. This indicates that she is connected to the solar god Ra. So it's up there on the top. That's late period statue, circa 800 BC, I believe it says there. Same statue of Isis holding the child Horus. This one only predates the first, which is from late period of Egypt, late Old Kingdom statue, circa 2100 BC. And then you got the Coptic Mary holding Jesus, so-called, right? So-called. The Coptic Church started in Egypt. So you already know that they're already tied in with occultism if they're tied in with Egypt. Note the solar disk, but see right there, the solar disk above her, right behind her head or above her head, however you want to see it. I can't really read that. Early Coptic imagery of Mary and Jesus, Egypt, circa 50 AD. I think that's 50 AD. And then this is the modern one right here. Same thing with the whole glowing of the head. That's a modern image copied from the art of 1100s. Modern imagery of Mary holding Jesus. Note that they still keep the solar disk, which is now called a halo. That's how they trick people, man. That's That's how the Roman Catholic church trick the people of that church, man, into thinking, oh, that's just a halo. That's crazy, dude. That is nuts. All right. So those are the pictures I kind of wanted to share before we get into the lyrics here. So let's go ahead and get into the lyrics.
Hey, look at that cover right there. That looks pretty dark as well.
It does look dark, but at the same time, it looks kind of seductive. You know what I mean? It looks like it looks like she's trying to lure people in. That's the feeling that I get. But yeah, it does kind of look dark, but at the same time, she's trying to lure the people in with the
Yep.
way she looks at him. All right.
That must be off the single, because this was also the single from that album.
Dark Lady. You're talking about this picture right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll let you start on the verse and the chorus, and then we'll switch off.
All right, here we go. Dark Lady. The fortune queen of New Orleans was brushing her cat in her black limousine. On the back seat were scratches from the marks of men. Her fortune she had won. I couldn't see through the tinted glass. She said, "Home, James," and hit the gas. I followed her to some darkened room. She took my money and said, "I'll be with you soon." I would wonder about the scratches in the back seat thing. It's
Yeah.
trying to say like it's trying to allude to some action, but it really makes me think more of like a being or an entity.
I don't know. I kind of get because I said that the look that she had on that cover was alluring, that I would think that she kind of the way it seems, she kind of invited the dudes to come into her limo because of her seductive look, but ended up doing something else to them as opposed to what they thought that they were going to do with her.
Right.
And the scratches were like they're trying to escape. That's kind of what I took from that. And it's kind of weird that it's highlighted.
Right.
It's highlighted. I don't know why. Should I click on that?
Huh.
I'm thinking, should I click on that? Let me click on it. Let's see what we got. Oh, here you go. Let's see what it says here. Play of words with the word fortune which can be both a large sum of money and destiny or fate. Okay. Dark Lady became rich by telling fortunes, but it is also what brought on her death, since the speaker kills her after finding out she was having an affair with her spouse after a fortune-telling session. What? I don't know about that. I'm going to skip on that because that's veering off away from what the real message is here.
Right. But see, what's interesting about this first verse is it's showing that, this lady's doing fortunes, which when you're trying to do fortunes, you're trying to tap into these other forces.
Mm-hmm.
And that she got rich from it, rich enough to have a limousine and have a driver and all this stuff. Like it's another way of being alluring. Like, look, you delve into this, you too can have riches.
Right. I agree with that.
Okay, and then it says, Dark Lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one.
Sounds like a ritual to me, man.
Like a seance. Danced to her gypsy music till her brew was done. Like a witch's brew is what they're implying, I guess.
Yeah, I know it is, I think.
She's not drinking a beer.
Or tea.
Yeah.
Or coffee.
Yeah. Dark Lady played black magic till the clock struck on the 12. So like hours and hours. She was totally in a trance. She told me more about me than I knew myself.
This thing is not scroll. Here we go. Okay, that was the end of the chorus.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the chorus real quick. Dark Lady laughed and danced, and lit the candles one by one. So she's definitely doing some kind of ritual, right?
Yeah, and she's well. Like, why would you suddenly like laughing and dancing? And it means almost like being overtaken by.
Yeah, possessed. I was
something.
about to say that. Yeah, possessed by some kind of entity. And who knows what that dancing is? It could be, or the dancing could be towards something or someone. She danced to her gypsy music till her brew was done. You're right about the whole brewing thing, the witch's brew. Dark Lady played black. It says it right there blatantly. Dark Lady played black magic till the clock struck on the 12, which is the hour of
The
the
witching
dark
hour.
Yeah.
That's like literally the witching hour.
She told me more about me than I knew myself. Okay, so
That's another draw towards like, look, if you do this, you too can be able to tell the future.
is this a person telling a story, or is this the actual Dark Lady telling the story? You get what I'm saying? Like who's telling the story here?
Well, that's the tricky part because it's the person telling the story about visiting the Dark Lady,
Right.
but then in the video, the cartoon video, the Dark Lady kind of looks like Cher. So like, I don't know. So it's kind of like both.
Huh. Verse 2. She dealt 2 cards, a queen and a 3, and mumbled some words that were so strange to me. So she's probably saying some magical spell stuff, man.
Yeah.
And then she turned up a 2-eyed jack. My eyes saw red, but the card still stayed black. She said, "The man you love is secretly true to someone else who is very close to you." Okay? That's where that's where they try to throw you off about this is going to be some kind of love affair with somebody, but in actuality, man, there's something else going on here.
Yeah. I think it's kind of obvious who or what that person is secretly close.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. My advice is that you leave this place, never come back, and forget you ever saw my face. So that's a warning right there, right? I guess you could say that that's a warning. So it goes back to the courts.
Alluding to her eyes seeing red.
Right here.
And then right after that, it's talking about the man you love is secretly true to, basically to Satan, I would say.
She said the man you love is secretly true to someone else who is very... Oh, yes, you're right. I didn't even see that. I would have thought that that was a ploy to kind of like divert the song to something else, to make you think something else.
Well, they're trying to cover it up as it being about a couple or whatever, but I think that the thing that the man is secretly true to is a being.
Oh, good catch. Good catch. And it goes down to the chorus. Dark Lady laughed and danced. She's probably doing the whole ritual thing again, right? And lit the candles one by one, danced to her gypsy music till her brew was done. Dark Lady played black magic till the clock struck on the 12. And there you go. She told me more about me than I knew myself. All right. Verse 3.
So I ran home and crawled in my bed. I couldn't sleep because of all the things she said.
Dude, how many times have we talked about that?
Yep. You know what happens when they can't sleep?
It's because it's the presence of their controller.
Yep. Then I remembered her strange perfume and how I smelled it once in my own room.
Spirit, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I snuck back and caught her with my man, laughing and kissing till I saw the gun in my hand. The next thing I knew, they were dead on the floor. Dark Lady would never turn a card up anymore.
So did this person take out Dark Lady?
I guess so. To me, it's like a sacrifice.
The person could have been possessed as well, maybe? Because they were talking about how there's a love affair going on in there, right? Where it says, wait, I'm trying to, let me go back here. The man you love is secretly true to someone else who is very close to you. And I think it could be a satanic entity.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Here the chorus fades out to the same. Dark Lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one. This seems, the chorus part seems to me as a ritual.
Yeah.
It's a ritual.
And it's a pretty dark song for being number one on the charts.
It just goes to show, man, these things work.
Mm-hmm.
These spells absolutely charm people into thinking that, oh, this is a great sounding tune. But in actuality, there's other types of meaning to the song. And, you know, like I said, man, we've all been suckered into whatever type of music that we're into. And I know Boneless Chicken was kind of like disappointed about, oh man, I really like that song, that artist, but now I have to look at songs differently. We all do. We honestly have to look at all the songs that we like in a different way now. You know?
Yep.
Once the light is shined upon that, there's no turning back, man. And you have to look at things for what they really are truly about. And it's better that way, to be honest, right? Because you're aware, and once you're aware, you're not going to be sucked into the spell anymore. I would hope so. I hope you're spiritually strong where you don't get sucked into that. But the first step of it is learning what the truth of the song is, you know?
Exactly.
And that's the reason why we do these shows, is because we want people to see, like, hey, look, this is what it's really being interpreted as. It's being presented to you as one thing, but if you look at it in a biblical perspective or a spiritual perspective, like, it's not equating to what they want you to believe it is. But that's part of the spell. That's part of the whole charming of things, right? So I think we're all guilty of going to sleep, so to say, with all these songs. So that was Dark Lady. You got anything else to add on to that?
Well, it's just interesting that was one of the first ones of hers that went to the top of the charts at number one.
Yeah. But I think there's a
it
lot of
makes me wonder, like, if that's the song where she, you know, after she made the agreement with, you know how, like, every time they make a certain agreement with that group, then their song gets number one, and it's always a weird occult song.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, a lot of number one songs are number one for a reason, and it's not because of the popularity of what people listen to. It's it's because I think we can and you know, we don't have solid proof of this, but it seems to me that it's just kind of weird how artists hit a wall, right? And we notice that they hit a wall, but all of a sudden they start climbing, like when they go solo, like for example, if they're in a group and that particular person goes solo, then all of a sudden that person's career starts taking off like nothing. So there's definitely something, and it's not the popularity from the people, but I think it's something else. You know, I definitely think
you agree to the club.
the terms and conditions of the contract, man. It's scary, man. It's scary how people would rather, you know, indulge themselves in the worldly riches as opposed to doing what's right. You know?
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
how alluring it all is, you know.
It is, yeah. No, I agree. But you know, at some point, at least with my experiences with money, there was a point where, because in my old job, I was making good money, and I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm just saying for what it is. I was making really good money, but there came a point where there was no happiness in there, and having to choose my relationship with Christ and having to choose my family over money has made me a lot more happier person. You know, when it comes to the way, the earthly way, yeah, it's a struggle, but at least I feel a lot more peace within myself because of what I've chose over what money can do. Because money cannot fulfill particular needs that especially the way that God has built us. There's nothing that can substitute that. It may substitute it at the moment, but in the long term, you start to separate yourself from people who really mean a lot to you. And I think just observing a lot of popular artists, they distance themselves from a lot of people as they progress up the ladder. Like a good example of that is Kanye West, right? He seems to be like I don't know, he kind of distances himself. He really separates himself from a lot of people because of who he is, you know? And you can be the richest guy in the world, but if you have nobody who cares about you, or if you don't have that relationship with Christ that's spiritually fulfilling you, then it really doesn't mean anything. At the end,
Right.
you die a lonely person. You die an unhappy person. So, I don't know. That's just the way I kind of see things.
Well, it just goes to show that all the allurement was for something that was empty.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. When it comes to music, I love trying to create music, and I know you do too. But we don't necessarily do the creation of music for trying to get famous or rich. We just do it because we just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things that's it's a part of us. I know I like to do the whole DJ thing, not because I want to be a famous DJ or anything. I don't want to be famous, to be for one. For two, I just do it because it's a fun thing to do, at least for me, and it's a good way to connect with my daughter because she does it too. So I do the things when it comes to that, not for fame nor for fortune, but because it's just a thing that I enjoy to do. Eases my mind, brings connection with my daughter and I. And also, I do it as a business, so I kind of use my talent for that too. So anyhow.
Yeah, and it's a good way to share with people, like good music and stuff.
Yep. Agreed, man. Absolutely agreed. So we're gonna share the videos. I like how that goes, right? We're gonna share the videos. But unfortunately, on the other platforms, we cannot share the videos because you know how the Yankee Tango platform is. I've already gotten a strike, but that was my fault because of my stupidity. And I don't want to get banned. I don't want to get I don't want to get banned from YouTube at all, because it's important for my fellowship shows to continue on there. I have to do those fellowship shows. It's one of those things that are a part of me. I find joy in doing them, and I don't want to get banned. So if you want to continue on to come with us to watch the videos, I will drop my tree link up on the YouTube side of things, because I know there's people who are viewing on the YouTube. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute. So I dropped my link tree up on YouTube. If there's anybody still out there, hey, what's going on, AJ Blunt? Kiss you went on YouTube. Cool. And let me see if I have anybody else. You're more than welcome to either come to the Foxhole or Twitch. Those are the only two platforms I'm going to be on to share the music videos. We're going to do both music videos. We're going to do the live performance, and then we're going to do the actual cartoon music video. So then we can look at both, because maybe I didn't get to see the cartoon. I want to see if there's any kind of symbolism in that music video too. And that's one thing that we do here, is like we try to catch the symbolism too, because with these people, and I'm talking about these occultic people, signs are it's a big deal for them. It's another way to like put that into your mind subconsciously without you knowing. So
yep. They always put out their intentions right in front of people.
Yeah, because that's what gives you the choice. You have because they put it out there, that gives you the choice to accept it or not accept it. So, but of course, we're watching this to break it down, to catch it, so then we can warn people about it. That's the intention behind this. It's not we don't do this to kind of say, hey, this is a cool video. We say, like, we catch things and we show it, and be aware of that is what we say. We warn people about it. So anyhow, like I said, I dropped my tree link out there for those on the YouTubes who want to come over to either the Foxhole, Pilled, or on Twitch, where we'll be playing both music videos, and then we'll be talking about it. So you're more than welcome to come. And also, my co-host here, Java, he has also a show. You want to go ahead and plug that before we end the streams on the other places?
Yeah, my show is pretty much at the moment strictly on the Foxhole / Pilled, and it's a late night variety show called The Pressure Valve, and it's on my channel. But I also have a podcast that you could check out on Spotify. It's called 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, Podchaser, Podbean, and TuneIn Radio.
Wow, you've expanded, huh?
Yep, I've got like 8 or 9 places that my podcast is beaming out.
It's good, man. The expansion is always good. Cool. So yeah, if you guys out there on the other platforms want to come over, you're more than welcome. Other than that, I'll try to be on either tomorrow or Tuesday for fellowship. The time is tentative, only because the work schedule that I have, it changes every week, and I'm trying to hone that down to where it's consistent. So I'll have consistent days off, and I'm trying to work that out. So, as you know, for the meantime, the fellowship shows are always going to be tentative with the schedule and with either the time and the days or both. So the only way, the best way to do it is just to follow me on social media, because that's where I post my schedules. And on the social medias, I'm on Facebook, CLOUTHUB, Instagram, Gab, and Twitter. And of course, YouTube. So just a heads up, if you guys want to come over for fellowship, I try to do at least 2 fellowship days a week. If not, I'll go 3, but it's all depending on my schedule. So hope you guys have a great, blessed day tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you join us on the other platforms to hang out with us. So God bless you guys, and hopefully I see you guys on the fellowship shows, and we will see you, I guess, whenever. So God bless you guys, and good night.